Morning, everyone. Cool.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Steve, good morning. How are you, man?
Hey, pretty good. How are you?
Something solid.
Cool. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Cool. Got a new setup. I just arrived in Seoul, South Korea.
International man of mystery. You're all around.
Sometimes I want to be the international man of getting some rest.
Yeah. That's funny.
Man, Anas, I would love to vlog if I just had 10 more hours in a day.
So we'll get started here in a few minutes, guys. How long are you going to be in Korea for?
So we're going to be here until Tuesday night, so just under a week. Yeah, and then we're kind of wrapping up our Asia trip. I think we've been out here 4 or 5 months. So yeah, it's been awesome, but time to head back. We're going to go to Turkey, then visit my buddies in Croatia, Bosnia, and
Nice.
then hang out probably somewhere around Europe
Cool.
until the big meetup. Yeah, back to the US. And the next really big, exciting trip on my radar is Orlando. I really can't wait for that one.
Oh, it's going to be a great time.
It's going to be amazing, man. I think about it every day. Can't wait.
If you guys are a lifetime platinum member, please be sure to fill out the form in the chat to get your free access.
Yeah, and if you're lifetime platinum and you can't access that channel, just DM go for Alex. We'll check it out for you.
So we'll get started here shortly. Oh, good. Tired. So we'll give it another minute or two and then we'll get started here, guys. Is the time difference the same in Korea, Steve?
Yeah, so it's the same as it was in Tokyo, so it's 10 p.m. now. So just a few more days with this time zone, and then we're back to European time, which is a lot better.
Nice.
Yeah. First time in Korea, so should be a fun trip. Never been out here. Tubes, depends what part of Europe. I mean, sometimes in the UK it's like 2:30 p.m. Out towards kind of the Balkans and Turkey, it's like 3:30 to 5:30, depending on daylight savings. So afternoon. Sharif, I travel pretty light. One backpack and one carry-on. My wife travels with a little bit more.
All right, guys, let's get started here. So, one sec. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to live trading. If this is your first time on live trading, welcome. We use the webinars channel in Slack to communicate, not the Zoom chat. The way that we structure live trading is pretty simple. We talk about what's working in the market, what's not working in the market. We build the watch list live, and we trade the watch list live. So let's first get into yesterday's action. So yesterday, I had a $4,000 day. I ended up trading MEGL. I ended up having a morning short into resistance, and I ended up taking the money and running away. Eventually, the stock ended up having a little bit of a zombie move, came back down, zombie move, came back down. So taking that first initial trade and walking away was the best trade that I could have taken yesterday, so I'm really happy about that. Let's kind of talk about what else was moving yesterday. So we had ASST moving yesterday. I did not trade this. This was the main hot stock of the day. It had tight halt bands, so I was not really that interested in trading that. It ended up kind of going crazy and going higher and ended up gapping up today. The problem with this is that I think that a lot of people are just trying to nail this chart, and oftentimes that ends up making it really, really crowded. So I definitely do see some support here at the 470s. I mean, if I want to be more precise, I can do like 465. So I would not even be interested in looking at it unless 465 broke. And even if 465 broke, I would try to be as slow as possible, because this stock has trapped so many people. So if a stock is trapped one time, it can most certainly trap again. So unless we have a new stock moving, unless we have something new happening, I want to be very, very careful on this ASST, because it could probably continue higher. So I'm going to leave that alone. Aside from all that, GPUS was another runner from yesterday. Ended up pulling back end of the day and now bouncing. This one's probably going to be a little bit 50-50 as well, depending on the action that we see. It might push and reject 8850, or it may just go straight up. I'm not in the business of trying to anticipate these names. I'd rather wait and see what they do and then join the trend. As you guys know, I'm coming off a pretty massive day from 2 days ago, a $171,000 day. Yesterday, I just wired out a bunch of money, kind of reset my account to kind of get back to normal. Oftentimes, what would end up happening in the past is after a really big day, I'd push for a second big day and then a third big day. And what ends up happening is I end up having a big loss. So now I'm kind of going back to basics. You know, I'm keeping it simple. So for me today, same plan as always. Size down, be patient, wait for the trades to come to me, and then take it from there. So I'm going to start by building the watch list. And as you guys know, the way that we build the watch list is we always look at the previous day's watch list first and build from there. So let's get started here. So GPUS. So GPUS ended up pushing and failing end of the day yesterday. You know, I definitely do see some resistance around $8, but the problem is that the previous highs on this are $9. So if this breaks $8 and holds, it could very easily go to $9 and keep squeezing higher, right? So for me, I want to be very, very cautious on this. So GPUS, this stock pushed and failed into the end of the day yesterday. Now bouncing today. Normally, I would be interested in shorting this, but the previous highs around 9 are very close. And if we break over that, it may squeeze higher. So for this one, I will look to short a bounce with small size only and add if we get a fail. If we start holding 8 and push to 9, I will not be fighting this on the short side. 1 second. Okay, so that's GPUS. Foxo ended up doing a whole lot of nothing, so no real trade there. ASST, like I mentioned, big squeezing stock yesterday. The stock ended up squeezing everyone and now gapping up. Although this is a pretty big gap up, although this is a pretty big move from where the move started at 50 cents, it's now up 1,000%, which is kind of crazy. I feel like this stock is very, very crowded to the short side. So I would at least need to see a 460 break and unable to reclaim to be able to attack this stock. So ASST, although the stock is up 1,000%. I think that it is very short crowded. So I will be waiting for a break of the key support area. Key support area of 460s for a first initial short, but I am in no rush on this stock. I would rather wait for it to fail and join weakness after a confirmation. So that's ASST. Next, we're going to be looking at, one sec. Next, we're going to be looking at PHIO. PHIO pretty much pulled back, did a whole lot of nothing, so nothing really interesting there. What else? NCEW, I don't know what the hell happened on this NCEW. Our plan was to short around $4 yesterday, and this thing hit 397 and just went straight freaking down. So that was kind of shocking to me. So I don't really think that there's much of a trade opportunity on that one today, so nothing really there. Megal, it's kind of coming back down. This one was a little bit trappy yesterday, so I have a feeling that it might end up trapping again today. So probably going to ignore that. As you can see, this GPUS is bouncing towards 8. So this may indeed actually break that $9 resistance. So this actually might turn into an avoid. So to me, guys, this might actually turn into a void. So, as I finish typing this, the stock is at $8 and quickly approaching 9. So most likely we'll ignore this short. What else is moving? QBTS is moving. This is a quantum name. I really don't have any interest in trading these quantum names. Oftentimes in the past, I've been getting my ass handed to me on these quantum names. So QBTS, quantum name, ignoring short on this. JZ, pretty weak stock. If we get a nice bounce, this would need a pretty big bounce. I would say probably, what is this resistance here? It's like 185. So 185, 205, and 230. JZ, 185, 205, 230. Runs too short. One sec. What else is here? JZ, NVAX, NVAX, not really anything there. GPUS, I'm gonna say PRFX, let's see. Yeah, PRFX is already back down to where it started, guys. So when these stocks come all the way back down to where they started, I don't really think that there's much of an edge. So, nothing there. ZKIN, doesn't really feel like much range there. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's looking like a little bit of a slower day. So GPUS is probably going to be in a void. ASST is going to be in a void until we see that. QBTS is probably going to be in a void. And JZ is probably the only potential stock that we might have an opportunity on, but other than that, just taking it pretty slow. So NVAX, I see NVAX is what? Novavax, multi-billion-dollar company. So nothing there. Keep in mind that President Trump is having an announcement this morning at 10 a.m. So that's probably going to move the markets in a big way. So keep a lookout for that. Aside from that, a couple of house cleaning things to take care of is our 7-year anniversary boot camp is coming up. So this is a 100% free event for our lifetime platinum members. So if you are a lifetime platinum member, just go to platinum member channel. There is a form there. Fill out the name and your email in the form, and you will be all set to go there. We also have a broker partnership with Cobra Trading. So if you sign up with Cobra between today and May 16, you will get 60 days free commissions, 60 days free platform, 90 days live trading access, and a chance to come to the New York Stock Exchange with me. The last promotion we did was a steak dinner in Texas. So I'm actually flying to Texas next weekend to go do that steak dinner. And yeah, so that's what I got on my end. Question, Phil, are you here today? Is my man Phil here today?
I think I saw him typing earlier. Maybe he's running to webinars now.
Let's see. Phil, when you're around, let us know. But until that, Steve, you want to take over from here?
Sure thing.
Oh, there he is. What's up, Phil?
Cool.
So, Phil, I want to let you know that we spoke amongst the team, and we would like to officially promote you to a moderator, my friend. So if you are interested in taking the role and taking the responsibilities, we would like to extend an invitation for you to become our next moderator. Phil is the perfect example of someone who shares openly in the workshop, who's been adding value to the workshop, who's been working on his plans, who's been doing everything right. And, you know, when we promote people to moderators, we're not looking for the guy that's making $100 million. We're looking for the guy that is not only showing improvement, but sending the elevator back down. And this was a long time coming, my friend. So congrats, Phil. You are officially our newest moderator, my friend. I mean, if you want to take the role, it's up to you. If not, so with that being said, Steven, I'm going to pass the baton over to you, my friend.
Sure thing. Yeah, huge congrats, Phil. Well deserved. It's really awesome to see this, and yeah, knowing that I'll be working a little closer with you now, and you've been doing a really great job, like Alex mentioned, in helping Andrew and Areg in the Discipline Workshop mentoring group. And awesome. I remember when we first kind of hung out at Orlando. That was a couple years ago. That was not the last one, but a couple years ago, and we talked about stats, and I, learned how much into stats you were, and then since then, we've been in a tab group together, so it's really, really awesome to see your progress. You're always killing it, and you're always helping out, and yeah, everybody appreciates you. And mainly, I'm hoping that we could see another money dance in Orlando.
Oh yeah, Phil is gonna have to do a mandatory money dance.
And Phil, I think you mentioned something about you've been doing the money dance on roller skates, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. You just let us know what song to play, and you got it. So yeah. Huge congrats, Phil.
You deserve it, man.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see, we got a little bit of time. So I thought I would just share um, a member's progress, and he had some good kind of lessons and things that have been helping him. So I thought I'd share it. I think these have been going pretty well lately. So I got a DM last week from Carlos. I don't know if Carlos is around or listening, Carlos Ramirez. Basically, Carlos joined, towards the end of last year, I think it was. He sent me this DM and he just did a monthly recap for April. He said that he finished his monthly recap and he wanted to share some exciting progress. Last month, he was green every single day with a 91% win rate. Before joining MIC, his slow down. His win rate was around 55 to 60% with some brutal red days. So he says, thanks for everything. And so from there, I had a bit of a conversation with Carlos just to see kind of what helped him and if there's any lessons or anything that might be able to help others. So I'm going to kind of share what he shared with me. And then, if you guys have any questions, feel free to chime in, or if you have anything to add to it, feel free to chime in. And I'm not sure if he's even listening, but it's all good. So I asked Carlos what he did to change his, to accomplish this. Is kind of pretty good results. And you could see, I don't ever ask for how people are doing P&L wise, but you could see he had a really good April. He made profited around 8,000. So I asked him what did he change and what kind of started clicking. And he told me that one of the biggest changes he made was learning to plan every trade in advance. Before he used to enter trades without a clear structure, but now he focuses on having a plan, including entry risk target levels. He also worked on adjusting his position sizing so that he didn't feel overwhelmed during the trades. Another shift was and sticking to his stops and moving on. So this is a really, really key feature that I think this is Carlos is the fourth shared kind of their recent success stories on. And they've all shared the same thing, right? So if the common denominator is making plans, sticking to them, risk management, proper sizing, it's all stuff that we say every single day. But I'm hoping that if you guys could actually see, members like yourselves who are implementing these key things and then seeing, seeing that they're trading turning around and finding the consistency that is really life-changing, right? My hope is that some of you guys will adopt it as well. So these key things that Carlos shared are nothing revolutionary. These are things that we've been saying since day one, right? Discipline Workshop will help you with this. Discipline Workshop mentoring with Andrew Areg, Phil and all the guys will help you with this. We've got all the tools that will help you with this. The live trades is a huge one. Cutting losers quicker and proper sizing, I would say, are the two biggest game changers that I personally learned from watching Alex trade live. So yeah, these are all, simple ideas, but you guys really need to work on implementing them if you want to see this kind of change. So Carlos is another member that did these things and has been seeing great results. So I think it's worth taking a look at if you guys are hesitant or on the fence. Then I asked Carlos what MIC resources helped him the most. He says live trading has been incredibly valuable. The support from the moderators was also key in his growth. Being able to ask questions and get real feedback made him feel like part of the team. And of course, all the materials that MIC offers helped him build a solid foundation. The tools are all there, you just need to use them. So pretty much the same thing, we touch on every day. Carlos is active in the live trades. He's making proper plans, he's sticking to them, he's cutting his losers, he's getting his winners bigger with proper sizing and adding. So yeah, it's really great to see these results. The last thing that I asked him was what advice would he give to new or struggling traders? He said the biggest piece of advice he would give is proper sizing and having a plan for every single trade, non-negotiable, right? When you size correctly and you know your plan, your emotions won't dominate your decisions. So true. avoid the urge to overtrade or chase, and don't skip your learning process. Focus on being consistent rather than being right all the time. Trust the process, lean on the community, and give yourself time to improve. Sounds simple, but if you are newer or struggling or you just want to take things to the next level, I would recommend writing these key things down and just, you know, doing a check with yourself and seeing if you're really implementing all of these things. Getting the emotions out of your trades, I think, is a, you know, huge one. These are all big ones, but you know, again, that's what we aim to do in the discipline workshop. When you have a complete plan in place, you don't need to think about or worry about how you feel. You don't need to see your P&L go red and then not know what to do and think, should I add here? You know, maybe it's going to fail. I think it's failing. You know, all these emotions come into play when things are going wrong, right? They could come into play when things are going right if greed kicks in and you start moving covers and you don't take profits when you should. But the real disaster, the train wreck, comes when, you know, things aren't going well and you don't have a plan and you're like a deer in the headlights. So having a plan has personally kept me really grounded for, you know, years. I mean, I come into a trade, I don't need to worry about A, B, or C. I've already thought about it. The scenario where it holds too long, like yesterday, MGL, I ended up cutting it, then zombie, it took off, right? If it holds too long, I don't generally like it. I end up trimming it or cutting it. If they go against me, I've got a plan. If they go in my direction, I've got a plan. There's really no reason for me to second guess myself, to think I'm right or wrong, or I should change something, or not know what to do when something is happening. Every scenario that the ticker can do has already been planned out. So I'm really on autopilot, and that's kind of the goal. That's where I think everybody should be, right? We should be like an algo executing the plans. And that's it. When you do that, things get a lot simpler. And again, sizing down and sticking to the plans is really the way to get to where you guys want to be. Less is more. And yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot. I think we've seen the same common denominator. I didn't ask Carlos about his sizing, but he did say that sizing has helped him a lot. But generally, when members come into the discipline workshop, we ask them to size down their, you know, until they see a couple months of consistency. And usually that's when they come back to us and they say, oh my God, you guys wouldn't believe it, but, you know, I started making a lot more money just by cutting my size in half. And that's always been a really big, I mean, we see it, so we know that it's true. And Alex preaches it all the time in Bow. But if you haven't tried it for yourself, you know, it really works, because that's another great way to get the emotions out and not have any stress. I personally trade a lot better with smaller size when I size up, then it gets tougher. So I always stick to a size that I'm comfortable with, and that's what we usually recommend for you guys. But anyways, we got a couple minutes left, so hopefully that was helpful to somebody. And again, huge congrats to Phil, and I'll hand it back over. Thanks, guys.
Yep. I am going to let the live trading keep running today. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to do a free session today. So we'll just keep the live trading running today. Probably going to be watching this JZ for a bounce to short. This GPUS looks like it pushed and failed around yesterday's resistance, so I could kind of start to watch that again. Maybe short a bounce towards 8 with like a 850 tight stop. ASST is kind of still going a little bit crazy, so nothing really interesting there. Even if it breaks that 460, I have a funny feeling that this is going to be very, very crowded. So other than that, guys, yeah, just watching bounces. I'm going to be sizing down a little bit today. I don't want to get too overly aggressive. I'm coming off a really, really big win from a few days ago. And the worst thing that you could do is let your confidence turn into overconfidence. So just going to take the money, run away today. Kind of woke up with like a little bit of a headache today. So trying to solve that headache by eating a piece of chocolate to get a little bit of a sugar rush. So hopefully that helps. But aside from that, guys, we got 2 minutes until the market opens here. Side note, you guys know the show The Punisher? You know, I've been watching Daredevil, and I finished Daredevil, and I remember watching The Punisher, and it's from 2017, so what is that, like 8 years ago? And I remember watching it 8 years ago, and I was like, this show is pretty cool. And now I'm rewatching it again, like as an adult, and that show is awesome. So if you haven't seen Daredevil, or if you haven't seen Punisher, this is your unrequested TV show recommendation of the weekend. So first watch Daredevil, and then watch The Punisher.
Yeah, I've heard those two are good. I haven't personally checked them out, but maybe I will.
Steven's too busy traveling, bro, to watch TV.
Man, I love TV. If I could just get some more hours in a day, I would watch more of it. I try to do something before, unwinding before bed and watch a little show or something, but it's hard to get all the time to do that. Yeah. But I love movies and shows.
WGRX, I don't know. It just kind of, that one seems a little, the range is just pretty extreme there. It goes from 5 to 8 to 8 to 6. And I don't know, I just think the range is crazy. ASST probably gonna do some sort of crazy move out of the open, maybe $6 or something, but I'm not really interested there. Probably just gonna mainly be watching these GPUs and JZ. GPUs, maybe I could short a bounce, but not gonna be using any type of heavy size today on these because the market has shown us that it's been acting a little bit more resilient than expected. So, and Bitcoin's nearly at 100,000, dude. What the hell happened to Bitcoin?
Wow. Insane, man.
Jesus, bro. Jeez. So anyway, guys, the market's gonna open up here in about 5 seconds. So I'll be watching GPUS, JZ, nothing of size, just small size, leaning in slowly, and we'll take it from there. So let's see.
Cool. Good luck, guys.
So if you see something, call it out.
This GPUS is trying to bounce.
Yeah, I'll watch GPUS maybe for a scalp, but I want to be very careful in case it just doesn't do anything. ASST, $6. Sheesh. GPUS bouncing, but nothing, not really that interested yet. Because if it busts through 8, it could kind of go crazy. So I'd rather just wait than be early. ASST fail, but I'm not going to be
fail so
convinced.
far, but
Say it again, Steve.
no, I was just saying ASST pretty big fail so far, but yeah, I'm not.
The thing about ASST, I do agree that death candle is pretty big, but I want to rather wait for that 460s area because I would assume that all these are going to be traps. But GPUS, a little bit of a fail there. So let's see how that GPUS reacts. Maybe we can look for a bounce. JZ, I'll look for a bounce, hopefully. So just staying calm, cool, and collected here. I'm anticipating that these stocks will trap. So assuming that these stocks will indeed trap. Reminding myself not to overtrade, not to oversize. I got no trades on yet, just waiting for these things to come to me. This GPUS is not really that obvious. ASST not really that obvious. So I'm just waiting. So ASST, you can see it had that major death candle, but came right back, right?
Yep.
So that's very, very risky.
Yeah, good avoids.
And GPUS doesn't really look like it has much volume either, so JZ failed, ASST hold up. So good avoid ASST, JZ no bounce. No bounce JZ. So I'm staying calm, guys. I'm staying calm, waiting. GPUS not really has much, it doesn't really have much volume. So I'm probably not that interested there. Looks like all the money flows in this ASST, so we're doing a very, very good job avoiding that. So I got no interest in ASST, man. I got no interest. I don't want to get chopped up.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose.
Yeah, if you avoided that, you already won. Yeah,
ASST trying to halt up again. So I'm just relaxing, guys. I'm relaxing. GPUS is bouncing now, but the volume is really low. The volume is kind of very, very low on this GPUS, so they might be able to squeeze that thing. And ASST, I am not messing around with that thing. Hell no. Hell no. So far, just sitting on my hands and waiting, avoiding the traps like ASST, avoiding the traps like GPUS. GPUS trying to run. Very easily could break that $9 resistance and just go straight up. So I'd rather just miss it. If I have to miss it, I'll miss it. So now GPUS over the pre-market high of the day. So now GPUS is going up. So JZ no bounce, GPUS a little bit too strong, so just waiting out here. Just waiting out. QBTS, yeah, big fail there. QBTS. So that's definitely looking like a big fail there. I got no trades on. Maybe watching this QBTS for a VWAP bounce to short. But nothing of size, nothing of anything yet. Avoided ASST, which is good. So far, avoiding GPUS, which is good. I mean, the thing is, guys, I could take a starter there at GPUS, but I'd rather be a little bit safe. Because only 50 cents away from the previous highs. No, the earnings don't matter. All I care about is the reaction to earnings. Right? The reaction to earnings. So if they're selling off the stock, then that's all I need to know. So GPUS kind of ramping. QBTS, we'll watch it bounce. Small. Staying small, waiting. And this GPUS is over the previous highs. All that's left is that $9 resistance, which it could very easily break through. Just taking it slow.
Yeah, QBTS more weakness, no bounces.
Yeah, it didn't really get to 850.
Yeah.
So QBTS not really giving a bounce. GPUS trying to form a resistance area here, but I don't know yet. IONQ went red. Wow.
Yeah, the ZKIN is also getting some money flow, but again, not a lot of range.
GPUS going towards that previous high, so far doing very good avoiding that. I mean, if it breaks 9, it could definitely go crazy, so I'm doing very good avoiding for now. Avoided ASST and avoided GPUS. So just waiting, guys, just waiting. QBTS is very weak. Kids, KIDZ, I'm not really interested in that one. If I remember, it trades very thin. I'm just taking it slow, guys. Just taking it slow. I mean, don't get me wrong, just GPUs, I could take a starter, man, I could, but I don't know. ASST bouncing. QBTS, they're just liquidating the hell out of that thing, huh?
Yeah.
So just taking it slow, guys. I do see GPUs starting to act a little bit weak. Yeah, that IONQ Tay, they're fucking selling off.
It's like ASST is also failing, but I wouldn't trust this up here.
Yeah, we saw, bro. We saw what it did last time it had a death candle. So we're in no rush, dude. Yes, it's up 1,000%. Yes, it's going to make for a great opportunity, but it may not make for a great opportunity today. I don't have to be in a rush, is what I remind myself, man. I don't have to be in a rush. I want to short it as much as anyone. So I'm going to be watching this GPUS. Maybe if the next bounce fails, I could take a starter position.
So ASST is trying to reclaim. Let's see if it does. This will be interesting.
What the hell happened on WGRX, dude?
Yeah, well.
Fucking crazy. So dip and reclaim there on GPUS, which I don't like to see. I don't want to ever see it dip and reclaim like that. So I'm holding off for now.
GPUS is getting that bounce.
So I'm just, so far guys, I have no trades on, just waiting. Got no trades on yet. I just don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm forcing trades for the sake of forcing. So looking around.
GPUS back towards 9. I mean, GPUS, ASST, one of these is definitely going to trap.
Right.
I just don't know which. Maybe both.
GPUS back to the highs. $9 over the previous highs. Looks like a rejection against the previous highs. That's a pretty big rejection, dude. Holy shit. That looks like a big rejection.
It's holding for now, though. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it under that 825 previous candle. Yeah, I mean, look at this thing. See?
Yeah, back to...
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, this is... You see these actions, dude. This is very, very trappy action. So I'm doing very well sitting on hands here.
Right.
QBTS will maybe watch this bounce towards a VWAP. But GPUS is too crazy. ASST is too crazy. I would rather miss it and attack the next day than be too early. So just taking it slow here. No trades yet. This is what it's like sometimes. Avoiding the crazy runners is a good trade. Look at that.
Yep.
GPUS. Nice.
Yep. There it goes.
So avoiding is better than anything else as well, guys. I'm okay avoiding all day long. Remember, Trump is going to come on in 15 minutes about his announcement. Jay-Z straight down, no opportunity. So far I'm doing very, very well ignoring these stocks, guys. I'm doing very, very well ignoring the crazies. This to me is just as good as winning because I'm preventing any type of major blow-up style loss. When Q failed. So I'm just trying my best here to be disciplined, guys. I do see ASST kind of failing a little bit.
Looks like QBTS is still trying to pop his VWAP.
Thing is on ASST, guys, it's up from 50 cents. So if and when it does fail, there's plenty of room to the downside. So I don't need to be early. ZKIN. I mean, ZKIN is not really doing anything too crazy here. ASST starting a little bit of fails. Looking around.
Like QBTS. Bit of a fail so far.
Like nothing seems obvious, guys. Nothing seems obvious. And that's kind of what's deterring me a little bit. Nothing seems obvious. Okay, so another fail there on GPUS. Looking around. It's only been 20 minutes since the market opened. It feels like it's been open for like an hour. That WGRX is kind of crazy, man. Just so crazy. ASST, a little bit of a lower high there. So I'm looking to only place a trade, guys, when it's very, very obvious. Nothing's too obvious yet. QBTS I see is bouncing here.
Yep, back at VWAP.
JZ is bouncing as well. So I'm going to take a small starter on QBTS here into this bounce, like a 1/10 of a position. Very, very small. I kind of feel like this is a little bit of a FOMO trade. I feel like I'm forcing a trade a little bit, so I want to be minuscule size. Yeah, Jay-Z, let it keep going. So I'm just looking for a small scalp on this QBTS. I recognize that it's a little bit of a forced trade, a little bit of a boredom trade. So I'm only sizing a couple hundred shares to make some scraps. ASST, some weakness. Pretty sick move. Halting down ASST. Okay. Now, let's see.
GPUS on the trap.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up ASST now, because now we might have an opportunity. I'm just gonna take off some QBTS here on the dip for about 15 cents. If I get my fill. I would assume that if ASST is losing money flow, I would expect GPUS to start going crazy up. So be aware of that. So ASST kind of getting that break, but remember that 460 is the key area. So if ASST washes out and we get a little bit of a bounce, I'll definitely look to join that. So I'm assuming that GPUS is going to take the money flow. So most likely just going to look to cover out this QBTS just so I can focus on ASST. So if I get another dip on this QBTS, I'll just take it off for even and focus on ASST. So I would assume that the money flow is going to go into GPUS today. So mostly just going to look to take off this QBTS for break even. Focus on ASST.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if ASST will give us a bounce or if it's just going to fade,
Right.
like we've been saying. A lot of these lately, the theme is they start to fail, then they just never even bounce. Man, WGRX about to go red.
Crazy shit. So Trump should be coming on in about 5 minutes.
Okay, JZ is about to open.
So just
JZ
looking
fail.
QBTS just to get out on dip to focus on ASST.
JZ didn't quite get there. Okay, SST is going to open soon.
Okay, so let's see what ASST does.
Yeah, milk gates are pretty cheap on that one, right? Okay, open.
Got a small starter there, ASST. Ideally bounce towards 550.
Man, it's looking weak. Let's see. Yeah. No bounces yet, just lower.
Yeah, nothing yet. But I'll stick to my starter. Let's see if we get that 550.
UBTS, small rejection for now.
Yep. Slowly scaling into this ASST around 550. A little bit of a fail there. Nice add. Very nice add.
Wow.
I'm just gonna take off this stupid QBTS so I can focus up here. So covered out break even QBTS. Just trying to focus here on this ASST now. Seller showing up. So good cover there on QBTS. So just looking to join some bounces on ASST so long as it remains weak. GPUS, nice fail.
Yep.
I can pull that up here.
Oh.
JZ bounce. Another fail there on ASST, so I'll try to get another add there. But I'm looking for a break under 5 to kind of confirm this. You see support is at $5. MLGO getting a bounce today too. I think Trump should be
UPUS.
speaking any minute.
Bounce. Yeah, in this ASST, I had some 547 starters out that didn't get filled, so might have to miss it. It's all good.
So what's the low of that candle? 13. So kind of looking weak. So adding here on this break. There we go. Let's see if we get a confirmation. We're gonna need under this 506. So let's see if we get under 506. Come on, 506, 505. 503, 50. Reduced a little bit, 501. Needs to break 5 here. Didn't break 5, so I'm going to try to reduce more. $502 reduced more. Let's hope the indicator doesn't go off. Watching. I covered half my position there into the $5 support. Holding support for now. So good job covering half. We'll wait for another fail. You're buying more and scaling in because you believe the trade is now below a certain support level. It's my 4D here, so trying to verbalize what I see. So yeah, as I'm seeing the stock break down, as I'm seeing the stock go in my favor, I want to bet heavier because I'm being proven right. So I'm adding to the position as I'm being proved right. And as we're approaching the support area of $5, I'm reducing some in case it doesn't break down. So that was actually the perfect move because it indeed did not break down at the $5 support. So I covered half, and now I could either hold that half or wait for a bounce and re-attack it. It's a good question, Rob. Yo, $5 held. It held, so I wanted to be a little bit proactive, so I covered half. So now I have half my position on, and I could either re-short the bounce towards 550 or just let it continue to wash out.
Yeah, good cover out QBTS. It's looking a little
Yeah,
strong now.
QBTS, good cover out for break even. So now on, what's it called? Now on this ASST, I could either short the bounce or wait it out. So I'm going to see how far the bounce goes and then take it from there. I'm staying small here, guys. I have only like 20% size. I'm staying very, very small today. So nice bounce. So re-shorting the bounce here, 31. So re-shorting what I covered at $5 at 531 and looking to add more around 550. So very good job reducing some at $5. Here we go. Now I get to get another ad. So just looking for another ad towards 550. This GPUS is indeed creating lower highs, is indeed acting weak. But I'd rather just focus on one stock at a time here. The blue line is VWAP, the volume weighted average price. If you've not already watched the accelerator course, I highly recommend watching it so you are not in the dark. ASST watching 550. And we'll slowly scale in. By reducing some at 5, I bought myself some realized profits. I bought myself some patience. And let's see what happens.
So GPUS, some money flow.
I had a little bit more at 544 here. on this ASST, just very slowly scaling in. I will not go above 30% max size on this setup as we're approaching zombie times in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I had my starter filled here finally. Small size.
Remember, guys, you only want to size up when the trade is so obvious. So for me, nothing is really obvious here yet. And I mean, look at this. So I think we're doing good so far with the stock selection. Waiting for the stocks to confirm, waiting for the stocks to break. So good fail there on ASST. Big seller showing up. So trying to join those sellers. I mean, in a perfect world, we would get that $5 washout, but in case we don't, I will look to cover some on the dips again. You know, I have to remind myself that the longer that this is staying above 460, you know, the longer it could hold support. So I want to be more proactive rather than reactive. So any types of dips that I get, I'll look to reduce some along the way.
Yeah, and I do like the GPUS is starting to show some money flow. So hopefully that helps.
Right. So just patiently waiting for this ASST to do its thing. GPUS nearly back to the high of the day. So it does seem like they are trapping that thing. QBTS grinding up as well. So good exit there, taking it for break even. GPUS high of the day.
Yep.
So it's been really a market where you gotta just take the money and run. It's not really been a patience market, so I have to kind of keep that in mind as well. Very nice move, GPUS. Not quite sure if Trump is talking yet, but the market doesn't like what he's saying if he is.
Yeah. So just babysitting for now.
Just waiting here.
ASST, let's see.
This GPUS pretty damn strong, huh?
Yeah, man, I mean, we opened it on 750. And yeah, if you zoom out, man, this thing started at $1.40 4 days ago. Okay, SST. It's looking weak, but we've got to get some follow through and break some levels.
Right.
5.2 would be a nice first step. Okay.
So just waiting. That 520 is definitely support, so we'll see what it does. Bouncing down. That's a fail.
Yep, let's go.
That's a big fail. That should be an add. That should be a fucking add. Fuck it. I'm just gonna add. That should be an add. That's a very, very, very big fail. So I'm adding here, guys. So looking for that $5 break here now. I see some follow through here. So I need to see a $5 break. So let's see what this ASST does. It should fail. WGRX went red. That's crazy. That's freaking crazy. So ASST is bouncing, which I'm not liking.
Yeah, I mean, after a move like that,
Yeah, it should not do that. That should not happen. No, that's messed up. I gotta get out of this thing. So got out here. 85 for a loss. That should not happen. That should not happen. So that's gonna be a loss for me, guys. That's crazy.
yeah.
But I have to eat it. I have to eat it. It should never go low day like that. So it sucks. That's a crazy, crazy move, man. So I ate the loss there, guys. It should never, ever, ever go to low of the day to high of the day like that. It should never. It's really annoying.
Yeah, bolted up out of nowhere.
So walking away here, guys. $5,000 losing day. Really annoying. But this is trading. So walking away $5,053 losing day. It should have broken down there. The fact that they reclaimed it is insane. But it is what it is. I have to eat that loss and keep moving forward. So everything looked good today. And then out of nowhere, they just kind of rebounded it. And that's it. So I'm going to walk away here, guys. $5,000 losing day. Zombie times are approaching. So nothing to do here except walk away. Tough day. Really looked broken after that death candle, but the fact that they reclaimed that death candle the way that they did is pretty absurd, dude. Pretty absurd. But it's okay.
Yeah.
As long as I control these losses, guys, that's all that matters. I avoided GPUS, QBTS. I saved myself. So losing day, but it's okay. It's not so bad when you're losing money and still up $168,000 for the month. So I just got to count the blessings and move forward. So that's all I got, guys. I'll be back at it again first thing tomorrow morning. Thanks, guys.
Yep. See you guys.